Hello to my positivity posse. Thank you for being here on this Thursday, wonderful Thursday here with Nimit Kaur. I hope you guys are ready for this episode because this episode is going to be all about overcoming adversity, what to do when we face our challenges and how to get through them. I'm very excited for this episode. Shout out to Ashu Singh for getting us into connection with one another. So Nimit, thank you for being here. What do you have to say to the positivity posse before we get started?
Thank you. Thank you, Dano, for inviting me to this show. I'm really excited to be here and share my journey of overcoming adversity and hopefully be a hope for all others out there who might be experiencing some challenges and being a support and your cheerleader through my own journey.
Oh, we appreciate that. And I'm going to change one thing you said you're going to try to be. I'm not going to say that you are. Just by you and your story is just a living testimony of what we can do and what we can accomplish when we have that mental fortitude in our life. So thank you so much for being here. The Positivity Posse is going to absolutely love you. And thank you so much for being here. So everybody, like, share, do whatever you have to do to raise your vibrations because it's time for another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, so much for being here. I'm telling you, this story that Nimit has is absolutely incredible, and I'm honored to be able to bring this to you on Weekly Dose of Dano TV, week in and week out, with all of the inspiring golden nuggets that we need to achieve, ultimate happiness, ultimate success, or anything it is that you want to achieve in this lifetime. We know and we experience that it is possible through my story, your story, and all the other stories that we hear week in and week out. So thank you to my Positivity Posse. Thank you to the guests that come on and constantly show love and support. And to you for always tuning in, week out, no matter where you are. If you're watching live or on the replay, it all counts, and we all feel that love no matter what time of the week it is and wherever you are. Thank you so much for sharing that love. So you know that we got to have our time together always in the beginning. And I really want to talk to you guys about making sure that we are vibrating at whatever it is that we want to receive, right? And I say this because a lot of people don't consciously vibrate at that level of whatever it is they want to achieve. So a prime example, a perfect example, is going to play the lottery, right? If you're going out there and you're going to play the lottery in hopes of winning the hundreds of millions of dollars that they offer, are you doing it in a way that you're just trying to get the money to pay the bills, and you're nervous about the whole situation and you don't know what's going to happen if you don't get this money? Are you doing it from a fear-based place, or are you doing it from a place of actually feeling what it's like when you're going to receive that money, or what the freedom will provide for you, or other opportunities that comes along with the money? That happens so often that we do things from a fear-based perspective versus a perspective of freedom, of happiness, and what it's going to feel like when we actually get that thing that we want. So I just want to make that, aware and everybody conscious of that, because if we're doing it from a fear-based, perspective, number one, we're just going to attract more of that into our lives, and things will start to happen that will be a reflection of that. And then number two, we're not giving off the right vibe to manifest whatever it is that we want to attract to. So just make sure that in everything that we do, we're doing it from a happy perspective. We're doing it from a perspective that we know that whatever challenge comes in our way, we're going to be able to overcome and destroy. And then also just doing it from a good place, because when you have the right attitude and you have that right energy going, you become unstoppable. And these are the things that we need to be more conscious of it when we're going about our everyday lives. And if you don't believe me, just try it for one day. Be overexcited, be over happy, really just accentuate it and watch what good things start to happen to you throughout your day. It can be somebody, giving you that connection that you've been wanting to get that job opportunity. Or you might attract the love of your life that's going to be, the person that's made for you, your soulmate. You can attract that in that same day as well. Anything is possible. And just make sure that you're doing it from a state of love versus a state of fear. And that's all I had to share with you guys for today, because I heard that and I was like, man, that is just so true. I've fallen victim of it, plenty of times. And also, one more thing too. If somebody says, if you're looking out there and you're looking at social media and maybe somebody on the street too, they're saying that they can teach you how to manifest. Please be wary of that, because nobody can teach you something that you already know how to do, because we're all conscious of it. We know how to manifest, but the strategies that we might be doing may need a little work, refining, or tweaking. So they can't teach you something that you already know how to do. They can only get you better at what it is that you already know how to do. And spoiler alert, for all the good things that happen in our lives and the bad things, we are the manifestors of what transpires in our lives. So just be careful of that, because I've seen a lot of people on social media saying thank you for X, Y, Z, and for teaching me this, but they didn't really teach you. They maybe made you more conscious of what you already know or how to refine your techniques. But just be wary of that. So we have so many great stories, golden nuggets, and lessons that Nimit is going to teach us and provide us for today, because her story really starts from a place of, when she was younger, having this visual impairment. And she didn't let any of that stop her for everything that she's doing in her life when it comes to her, career, when it comes to her social life, and everything that you could think of. She did not let that stop her. So I believe her story is absolutely 100% the epitome of what it means to be a part of the Positivity Posse, and just a great, great lineup of guests that we do have week in and week out. So everybody, I need you to welcome Nimit onto the show, whether that's a heart on the screen, a like, a comment, anything that you have to do to make sure that she feels welcome here on Weekly Dose of Dano TV. Please drop it right now. And Nimit, what are you doing back there? Stop helping everybody out. It's time to come onto the show. Nimit, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm excited.
Man, when I tell you your story, it just absolutely blows me away. And just the fact that we have you here to really dive deep into it, to hear about all of the successes and, maybe barriers or hurdles that you had to experience to get you where you are right now. We are just busting at the seam just to hear more about it. So, all right, we're gonna start all the way back into the beginning. When you were growing up, it really hasn't always been easy. Probably gonna start at a point that's gonna be very touching and very instrumental in your life, in your development, and in your growth. So, with the topic of kids and growing up in school nowadays, kids aren't always as friendly as they can be. So can you talk about a time that maybe is stuck with you still to this day, that, somebody wasn't really nice towards you or they said some mean things? And how did you not let those words really affect you, and how did you overcome it?
Sure. So from the start, I grew up in India, into a Sikh family, and when I was younger in India, I had to go to a special boarding school for the blind, because there were no regular public schools that were integrated at that time for children with disabilities. So that school that I went to, boarding school, was far away from my home, and I was very young, so I got used to, you know, um, being independent from a very young age, and my parents always supported me in that sense. And then once I got here, I was in my first integrated school ever, right in fifth grade. I did not know English, and on top of having a language barrier, being into an integrated school where I was This was my first time ever. It was very difficult for me. Um, I was used to, difficulties even in India, because that school that I went to, I learned all of the blindness techniques like Braille that allow me to be independent even today. But mainstream opportunities for me to interact were highly limited. So my parents always wanted me to have the same level of educational and career opportunities like my siblings, which is why they did everything they could to get here. So I was already used to some of the stereotypes of being a child with disability. Once I got here, one of the issues that I always remember having is people thinking just because I have a visual impairment that I may have other disabilities. So, for example, if um, interactions interactions where um, if I run into someone who's just shocked to see a blind person for the first time ever in their life and they're like, oh, they're blind, so they must not be able to hear. So somebody who might be just screaming into your ear and you're like, no, I can hear you, it's all good. Or somebody who might be like, just because this person is blind they might not be able to, you know um, think or make decisions. So things like that, because of my hardship experiences as a child, I was very used to it, and I just wanted to use my experiences as an education for other people. I am an open book. You can talk to me at any point in your lifetime, and I will answer all your questions. I am never afraid to talk. So um, I never viewed those experiences as negative. I just took the time to be patient and just explain to people or children that, just like we are all humans in the end, and integration is very crucial for all children with disabilities.
Wow, that is just so eloquently and beautifully spoken. Just the fact that you had the patience in order to deal with these things. There's people that that don't have that small amount of patience. You can take somebody that's driving on the street, right, and
Mhm.
somebody honks the horn at them, and they just absolutely blow a gasket. So it's really incredible to hear that you had that from such a young age. That, like I said, there's adults that don't even have it right now. So big shout out to you. And what did I tell you, to the positivity posse? You can just see it in the way that you speak. Your soul is absolutely beautiful. So again, thank you for coming on and sharing that, because this is the things that we need to hear about in order to develop some more patience in our own lives. And if we go a little bit further along in your schooling career, if we go to, you have a master's degree
Mhm.
from Rutgers University in social work. I
Mhm.
wanted to talk about that. Why is it that you decided to go to school to get your master's degree specifically for social work? Why did you choose this field?
Sure. So I chose social work because I wanted to make a difference in the lives of other people, especially people with disabilities, any type of disabilities, physical, developmental, intellectual. And I wanted to be a voice with those whose voices might not be always heard on the table. So when I did my master's in social work, I specialized in management and policy track. That's because I want to be an advocate when it comes to ADA compliance, and I'm currently in the process of pursuing a law school as well. Um, that's my goal, because I really want to be behind the policy and making improvements and making changes in the lives of people with disabilities so that they're integrated, and then we grow up in a society where it's inclusive. I am a huge component and an advocate for inclusivity. In all my experiences, that's where I've been most involved with making sure that everybody's voices get heard on the table.
Wow, I mean that is absolutely incredible. Well, we're going to send you all of the positive energy that you need to complete law school, and I love the fact that you are just you're not waiting for anybody else to do it. You're taking it head on, and you said, you know what, I'm going to be the one, and I'm going to be the change that I want to see in the world. How did you kind of develop that go get it attitude? Was it your family? Was it something that you were born with? Where did you get that? I'm going to do it myself attitude.
I think it's definitely stems from my parents because they always supported me just like my siblings. They never treated me like a special child. Um, they treated me just like they would treat any other child. So that really helped. That allowed me to go out of my comfort zone and be independent. And also because I've seen personal experiences, whether of my own or either of my family members who developed disabilities or traumatic experiences in life. So after seeing all that and also with my own experiences personally and also helping constituents who reach out to me and helping them, it just continues to keep on building my passion. Like that passion doesn't go away. It just keeps on getting deeper and deeper. When I get to see the level of, you know, advocacy that's needed, especially for people with disabilities. The Americans with Disabilities Act has definitely opened a lot of doors. And prohibited discrimination on the basis of disability, but there's still a lot of work to be done. One in four people just in the United States and one in six people globally have a disability. Yet, even today, in conversations of diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging, disability is hidden because it's so individualized. People are fearful to talk about disabilities and include them in DEI conversations. So I think that it's very important that we we become our own change makers, and um, I believe that joy and happiness is a choice. As you said in the beginning, taking things from a happier perspective, just being you, being able to expand your comfort zone to create the change you want, because it does start from the person themselves in their own local communities.
Wow, beautifully said. I mean, drop the mic. We could end the show right there if we needed to. I mean, really, you covered it all. Just the fact that you said, you gave your credit to your surroundings and you used all of these experiences, whether they were good or bad. And I don't really like to say good or bad because if everything is serving us for our highest good, then there's no way that it can be bad. But just for for simplicity terms, you used all these good and bad situations to really fuel your passion to really make a difference in this world as well. And so we really appreciate that. And when it comes to people with disabilities or impairments, and let's say if there's somebody like us that we're not going to become policymakers or policy changers directly in relation with the law, what advice do you have to anybody that wants to be an advocate for the people with disabilities or impairments? What can we do in order to make that difference or speak for the people that don't have the same maybe vocal voice that we have or same power?
Mhm. Thank you for asking that question, because oftentimes people come up to me and they're like, I don't have a disability. Like, why should I care about this? And I gave the statistics earlier, and after COVID-19 pandemic, we have seen how some of the side effects can, be or lead to disabling conditions. And disability is a minority group where anyone can join at any point in their life. Like it does not discriminate. It can be acquired through being born or acquired through traumatic experiences, and we just don't know what life is going to bring at any point. Every second is a blessing, and we don't know what the next chapter is going to be, no matter how much we plan. So I think I always tell people, no matter what, you are going to be either, you know, be faced with experiences through yourself or through a family member or even just like outside in your community. Like you just can't escape this. So, being able to create a world where you would want to be treated or you would want to see your loved ones thrive. Because when we see it from the perspective of, yes, it might affect us, and how would we want to do it, or how would we want to be treated if it was us? So I think looking at it through that lens really helps people to be more compassionate and involved, and being willing to um, be educated by people who have lived experiences. Um, Even as a professional, like I don't have a lot of the lived experiences as somebody who might have a hearing impaired might have, or somebody who might have a developmental disability who might be able. So, being able to include people with lived experiences in your programs or um, in any of your day to day lives, being able to expand out of your comfort zone and not being afraid when you see someone who might look or act different than you. Because often I've seen, if we have never interacted outside of our own social circle, we tend to be fearful because we don't want to interact with someone who looks different. Just be open minded, willing to learn, and I think that's really going to help, um, being being able to be an ally for people with disabilities if you are not directly affected by it. And if you see something on the news, if you see something on Congress, legislations that's going on, you as the public have the right to write to your representatives about legislations that you care about, issues that you care about. Write to them, call them. The more people that report, the more people that are able to speak up, the better data we will have. And there is huge strength in numbers. So I believe that data tells a story. So it's always good to stand for yourself and also stand for others who might need just a little bit help in standing with them.
Wow, beautifully said. And I know I said that about every answer that you've given, but seriously, the way that you articulate it and the way that you give that powerful perspective of having or living in accordance to what other people are going through, right? Because I know that a lot of us, no matter what it is, it could be giving advice to others. It can be that I bring that one up because a lot of people do that. They always give the best advice to their friends, but when they're going through that same situation, they're like, "Oh, I don't know what to do." But when you bring up that powerful perspective about living life on how what other people think and what they're going through, it really expands your consciousness and it helps you understand, hey, just because I might not be going through it doesn't mean that somebody else couldn't use the help. So thank you for bringing that. It's a very powerful perspective. And I think a lot of us need to incorporate that in our everyday lives, to have that component of compassion, to have that component of making a difference in this world. Because if you're just solely doing it on your successes and you're like, hey, well, that's not happened to me, then that's not happening. That's looking at life from a limited view and not really experiencing our full potential of being of service to others or, accomplishing, making the world better for everybody together. And I know that makes everybody watching. Hopefully that doesn't sound cheesy or corny, but these are the practices that we need to do day in and day out. Even though we might be busy or even though we have, kids or not enough money or whatever excuse you want to throw, we throw that all to the side because when the things that we do in our lives that make the most difference probably don't need much money at all. Just like Nimit said, when it comes to just writing to your local Congress and being of service to others, that's when the beauty and the magic of life will start to happen to us as well. And we have a few comments on here that we're going to discuss from Mario. I see his in particular coming up. I'll just share it with you right now. He says, congratulations, Nimit, on your MLK Freedom Medal. And when we come back from commercial break, we're going to talk more about what that medal is, what it means to you, and why it was very important. So, to everybody right now, we're just going to take a quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere. Like, share, do whatever you have to do to raise your vibrations and to experience Nimit's great story and powerful story, because we can all use it right now. So, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after these commercials.
5 years ago, the Power of We Symposium was created to provide a platform for kids from all sectors where they could have a safe and comfortable environment in which to share both their joys and concerns. The Power of We Symposium is proud to have served over 250 kids throughout Romania when we took our mission global back in May of 2023. Now, 2 teams of amazing volunteers from both the U.S. and Romania embarked on an 8-day Legacy of Hope tour, bringing encouragement and hope to not only the kids of Romania, but also the adults who support them, and also to over 100 kids here in the U.S. who contributed handwritten letters of hope to our Romania mission of 2023. Now, this year, we are proud to provide this opportunity yet again in October, and we are super excited to up our game. New venue, 750 kids this time, and we want to see you there. We're looking forward to meeting you in person at this year's event, which promises, as always, incredible speakers, amazing content, and of course, some of the greatest kids on the planet. So, mark your calendars for October 24th, and we'll see you here in Chicagoland for the Power of We Symposium 2024. This year's theme is Always Together, Never Alone. Tickets are available now on Eventbrite or at powerofwesymposium.com.
Thank you to the Power of We for sponsoring Weekly Dose of Dano TV. We appreciate it, and we will be there in October to experience the Power of We Symposium again for the second time. So thank you for sponsoring Weekly Dose of Dano TV. And Nimit, now we have to talk about this comment that was left by the wonderful Mario Partee. He's absolutely amazing himself. But again, he says, congratulations on your MLK Freedom Medal. What the heck is he talking about? What is an MLK Freedom Medal?
Thank you. This was from Camden County. So every year, Camden County honors those who represent the legacy of Dr. King. And, you know, Dr. King was a huge change maker and a huge advocate for inclusivity. And I was just very honored to receive that award. I do what I do. For my own passion. I never even realized that this work would ever be recognized in such a prestigious level. So I am just super honored and thankful to Camden County for this award, because of my background in disability advocacy at Rutgers University, and now with Camden County, and also through my family foundation as well. So thank you.
Yeah, of course, that was beautiful, and just the fact that you have an award, named or based off of MLK and his inclusivity, it means that you're on the right path, and we need to take a few notes from your journey, his journey, and really all the legendary people that have ever existed on this planet, because we are capable of achieving that same status, but we may just need a few pointers here and there to get us back on the right track, right? So, congratulations to you again, Nimit. I know that is incredibly powerful and absolutely refreshing to actually get an award for all of your hard work. And it's nice to be recognized every once in a while. So congratulations again. And you were just talking about in your professional career, you do a lot of work, whether it's, volunteering or helping to give back to the disadvantaged communities. And one of the things that you mentioned is that you're part of the New Jersey Inclusive Health Community Projects to make communities more accessible. So can you talk about some of the initiatives that you created and their impacts in order to make the communities more accessible?
Sure. So that project is actually very close to my heart, because this particular grant by the New Jersey Division of Disability Services, it targets not only small projects, but it targets environmental barriers. It targets um, some of the some of the barriers, societal barriers, social barriers. So it really allows people to go outside of their comfort zone, and it's because it's a big grant, they're able to use it to create sustainable solutions for people with disabilities. So I was involved with helping, assisting with DDS and Rutgers with you know being a reviewer of applications and just being able to participate in some of the background scenes. And now I get to use some of the knowledge that I gained from that experience to assist in my current role at Camden County and also my own foundation, like how to um, how to think outside of the box, like how to go beyond the small physical projects and actually aiming at bigger projects.
Wow, and that's beautiful. Yeah, and we appreciate that. For all the things that everybody doesn't say thank you to, the Positivity Posse and I are going to say thank you for that. Because I know that we can be so involved and so caught up in our own lives that we don't see all the great that's going out there in the world. And with shootings going on and all these different things that may be a negative perspective, you're out here changing the world for the greater and for the positive side. So we love to hear about all the work that you're doing, about all the awards that you've received from all of your great work. So thank you so much for that. And another project that I wanted to talk about, and I know you said you're an open book, and this is going to be definitely a sight into what you've been accomplishing with all of your journeys and all of your experiences. But you serve as a mentor for the Camden County College Garden State Pathway programs. And as a mentor, would you be able to share one of the experiences that you've had that left a lasting impression on you or on your mentee?
Yes, for sure. I mentored at Camden County College Garden State Pathways program, and that program allows students with disabilities to further their life skills, educational or vocational skills, to prepare them for either vocation or further education. And I was a mentor, and when they see someone who is in almost similar shoes as them, in the fact that somebody who has a disability as a professional, that in itself really gives them the inspiration or just a confidence builder that if she can do it, I can do it. So I was able to help them learn, how to take notes, how to manage their time, and how to do better life skills, how to further their education. And so a lot of the students that I worked with are now very successful, either furthering education or are on a long term vocational um, jobs. So seeing that little steps really makes me super happy. I worked with so many students through another program at Ability Solutions, and some of them were um, had more of a severe disability. So a lot of the time, people did not believe in them. So once I worked with them along with the whole team, we were able to see some of their other strength that even to their family was a surprise, because they never got that belief in them that yes, they can do it. Just because they're not able to do one particular aspect in their life, they can still. This particular student was a great sports, and he was really good in sports, but that sport was never used on as their strength. So once we were able to figure out their strength and use their strength to their advantage, a lot of families found that perspective life changing for them. So I I don't mean to repeat myself, but I think that it's really about like expanding beyond your comfort zone and being a being able to instill confidence and belief in people, in themselves.
Of course. Thank you so much for that, because there's a quote out there. You guys are probably familiar with it. And it goes like this: if you judge a fish's ability on their ability to be able to climb a tree, they're going to go their entire life thinking that they're stupid, right? And when you are judging these people not on their strengths, then their confidence may start to get a little shaky. So Nimit, thank you for doing that, because when you take the time to find what their strengths are, and they're actually to play on those strengths and to live their life based on that, then you can start to see the magic and the impact that they can provide, whether it's in a workplace, whether it's in a social community, or anything that they decide to do. So thank you for doing that, because it's so important. And to everybody out there too, just like what Nimit said, don't be afraid to try new things and to expand your horizons, because when you go to take that new step, that might be the dream or your strength that you never knew that you had. And just by you having the confidence and the wonderful energy out there to try it, great things will start to happen in your life. So I want to talk about one comment that Mario, again, he's just lighting it up on here. He has a question for you, and the Positivity Posse needs to know. So he asked, how was it for you to meet Governor Murphy recently?
Thank you. That was also very honoring, as well. As I said before, like, I do the work that I do like out of my heart, and I've never like even imagined being able to be so up close with policymakers and actual change makers. So just being able to like talk to him and take a picture with him, and in his mansion, that was very inspiring, and just receive his supporting words and his support. I was just very blessed, so thank you.
Yeah, were you starstruck at all? Because I know he's a politician, but did you have like any feelings of being starstruck?
um I was happy. I was just so honored that I just didn't really know like how. I was just way too excited.
That's
Because
beautiful.
I think that they they are at their position, where they need to hear these voices, and I want to be a representation for other people with disabilities, and I want to be a role model. So the fact that I was able to be up close and be a representation, that meant a whole lot to me.
That's beautiful. That is just so awesome. Right here, Jeanette says, Nimit, I love your spirit. You have everybody, Lou says right here, amazing. You have everybody just absolutely feeling the great feelings that, you're emitting. And now it's just being a reflection of that with the Positivity Posse. So thank you to the Positivity Posse for commenting. Thank you, Nimit, for just this absolutely wonderful, string of words and talking about your experiences. This has just been absolutely amazing. So I just want to ask you one more question, because we're going to have to go to a quick commercial break. But looking ahead in your professional career, what are some of the things that you hope to aspire? Because I know you said you were completing law school, and getting your, everything that goes along with that. But what are some future aspirations that you have in your career?
Um, I would definitely like to be an advocate for, again, ADA compliance, or just for individuals, to help them overcome their journey and their struggles. And I would also like to be a part in making changes to environmental or social barriers. So um, that could be through any work that I'm doing. I would like to create some kind of a change that improves the quality of life, and that integrates and allows people to be living and growing and playing in inclusive world for everyone.
That's beautiful. Beautifully said. And I know I sound like a broken record saying that, but seriously, every answer that you've given has just been absolutely magical. And we can just see your spirit and just feel your great energy from everything that you do, from your social life to your professional life and everything in between. Thank you again for coming on here and really sharing this wonderful energy. I can't really describe it. It's just this place of just pure, just service, of being service to other people, and living a life full of dedication to others to help this world become just absolutely all inclusive, no matter the color of their skin, no matter what background you come from, or whatever your strengths or your weaknesses are. You are providing this world as another vessel for people to come together, get along, and just all prosper. So thank you so much for that. We're just going to hear a word from our sponsors, and we'll come back right after this commercial break. Don't go anywhere, because we're going to dive into the Nimit Foundation, why it got started, and why it is so important for Nimit to have this foundation. So like, share, do whatever you have to do. Make sure you keep the comments coming and flowing, because this has just been absolutely magical. So don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
As a voice in all of the nations, we all need to stand up, as a voice in all of the nations. This song is a dedication to every single country in the world, maintaining all the water that we have. Let's know so for we come for. Make sure the water is clean. Prevention is better than cure. A lot of lives being lost. No one's doing.
So everybody, that was our sponsors. I know you saw me up there standing up. I just had to look at the comments to make sure that I'm getting to each and every person a part of the Positivity Posse. Thank you for commenting. And also, Great Success is having a masterclass, another one, this upcoming Monday. So if your child needs any study skills or any just tips on how to transition from high school into college and how to just be better overall in school, please sign up at greatsuccess.com. Like I said, he's having it this Monday, and I went to the first one. He just puts on a masterclass, and I see why he calls it a masterclass, because he just helps so many people and all the young generation and the next generation that may be struggling in school. So thank you to Great Success for sponsoring Weekly Dose of Dano TV, and JB Dundalo as well, where we provide clean water to the kids in Africa and in the underprivileged and underdeveloped parts in the United States as well. So thank you to the both of you as well. Absolutely amazing. I think I saw Mark on here earlier, so if you can just tell everybody the dates if you're still here for your masterclass, that would be great. So Nimit, you have to talk to us about your Nimit Foundation. What's the story behind that, and how did it get started?
Sure. So it started right in the middle of pandemic. So my parents have a restaurant in Voorhees. It's called Nimit Palace, and the foundation started because during the pandemic, so many people were working, you know, long hours, especially our essential workers, law enforcement workers. And because my parents watched me grow up, and then another family member, who faced adverse experiences through trauma. So once witnessing all that, my parents wanted to be a hope and also give back to the community. So they started this foundation where they delivered meals to so many people, including seniors, people with disabilities, law enforcement workers, hospitals, and we're basically everywhere that needed it. And it's on a totally volunteer basis. So that allowed them to be a part of making a difference in other people's lives. And the pandemic was tough for so many people, for all of us. And when you are able to give people meals, good food, often starts a good conversation. So sometimes people would tell you their stories, and then we would be able to help them connect to resources or just be a listening ear for them. So this foundation serves food to all people in need. And it derives actually from a concept in my religion. So I belong to a Sikh religion, and one of the main and very important concept of the religion is called seva, which is selfless service. And selfless service is can be in many forms, and in that sense, it was giving food to people in need and helping them, at least in many cases, helping them not having to worry about sleeping hungry.
Wow. And the best thing about that too is a lot of people that are watching right now, hopefully you've had an opportunity to experience the Nimit Palace restaurant in Voorhees, which I have had the pleasure to do multiple times. And not only are you just giving out food, you're giving out elite quality foods. Just the stuff that you guys prepare has really changed the way that I view Indian food, because it's the best that I've ever had. Not to say that I'm out there every weekend trying Indian food, but the quality and the product that you guys just absolutely gave for free to the healthcare workers, to the front people in the front line fighting, is just absolutely just such a blessing. So if you're ever giving away free food, just call me up and I'll be there in a heartbeat. It's
Thank you.
absolutely amazing. So
Thank
I want to talk about some other, that was then during the pandemic, and when everybody was locked down, which is such a challenging time. But what are some other ways that the Nimit Foundation is giving back to their communities? Maybe not only directly to food, but in other ways.
Sure. So we have partnered with local communities to help with food donations or other donations. We've also helped sponsor weddings for for couples couple years who were not able to pay for the whole cost. So just being able to help people in whatever way we can, and it's a foundation that's always evolving, always open to new ideas. So if you, as the audience, have any ways you would like to collaborate, feel free to reach out to us. We are always open for ideas. So basically, right now, when people reach out to us for help in any situation, we try our best to give them what we can.
Yeah, and let me tell everybody that hasn't had the privilege to meet Nimit in person or her brother, Ashu Singh, these people are absolutely always down to give. So you're definitely right. Whatever comments and concerns, they are definitely welcome. So please, if you feel compelled enough to go after, what's the website that we can go check out your foundation?
It's nimitfoundation.org.
Awesome. So if you feel compelled to go to nimitfoundation.org, please go in there, leave your tips, leave your ideas, or better yet, if you want to collaborate with them, please do it. They're absolutely amazing, beautiful people. If you haven't experienced it already, just by Nimit here being on the show for the first 50 minutes, I mean, this has only been a short amount of time. Imagine just a few hours of her time in order to give back to the communities that need it. Now is your opportunity and your chance as well. So what are some maybe in the future ideas that, or maybe things that Nimit Foundation is doing that we can be on the lookout for?
So we are still planning all of the future events, but we definitely hope to expand more food donations for the community, especially around the holidays. And one day we also hope to expand gift donations for the community, for children or seniors, to put a smile on their faces. So that's some of the projects we are hoping to implement.
Awesome. And we have a comment right here from Louis. He says, Dano, you need to do a live show from the restaurant. I would love to do that, but I think my head would just be so in my plate because that food is absolutely delicious. I'm telling you guys, I've had it multiple times and I can't get enough every time that I go. So you'll just see me in the camera eating and chewing violently. So I don't think you guys want to see that, but I would love to do that. If Mr. Ashu Singh and if Nimit wants to make that happen, we will do
For
that for
sure.
a future episode as well. And I know, just to let you know, there's a Mario Party. He is always about giving, food donations to combat food insecurity in the South Jersey area. So that might be a possible connection for you guys to work together. And I'm pretty sure you guys know of one another. He was, South Jersey's Man of the Year on the magazine, and I know him very personally. So there might be a connection for you guys. So yeah, thank you so much again for doing that, for being that place that people can come to, especially during the holiday season. Because I know it may be hard. Like, yes, everybody's rushing to the malls to go buy their loved ones a gift, but that can be a special time for all of us to come together in order to help the people that are maybe not as fortunate as us. And if you ever need anything from Weekly Dose of Dano TV and the Positivity Posse, we will be more than welcoming or accommodating or more than happy to partner up on a few things in the future as well. So, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm really fortunate to be here and share my journey. And I hope that I was able to provide a beacon of hope for people who might be dealing with any type of adversities or challenges. You are your own cheerleader, and you are the best person to stand up for yourself. Never give up, and just you can do it. You got this. That's like my biggest thing that I tell people. You got this.
Of course, you do. You got it. No matter what your limiting beliefs are or whatever has happened in the past, we do not have to be prisoners of our past. And when we understand that, we are abundant in this life, we can get anything that we want, and we are master manifestors, then nothing can stop us and get in the way of that. Nimit, you just said that so beautifully as well. And yes, you are a beacon of hope, not only to the Positivity Posse, but just throwing that great energy out into the world. You're just raising the collective consciousness of everybody that has, knows you or just has been around you. And I can guarantee you this. If there's somebody that's watching that has had the sound off completely and maybe they're looking at subtitles, they can just see it in your beautiful smile and feel your energy that, yes, you have been a beacon of hope, not only with your words, but just your energy and just that infectious smile, which is absolutely amazing. So thank you for coming on again. And we actually wrap up the show with the same exact question every single time. So Nimit, there's nobody else that I would want to answer this question because, like I said earlier in the show, you are definitely the epitome of what a guest should be on Weekly Dose of Dano TV and just what everybody should strive to be in their personal life. So are you ready for the question?
Sure.
Awesome. So here it is. If there's somebody right now that maybe in their deepest, darkest times in their personal lives, what advice would you have for them to get out of that funk or that deep, dark time?
Sure. That's definitely a great question, and I think that the best advice I could give them is, you know, it's tough out there, and I validate you, and I will support you. I will be your cheerleader, but we have to do the best we can to don't let any of the challenges stop you. Just keep on moving. Don't let life control over you. You can be your own boss. So just try your best, and small steps make a big difference. You don't have to do anything crazy big. Just being able to get up and go out is a huge progress. So even if you achieve a little progress, don't be afraid, don't give up, and you're able to do it all. And I always tell, joy, being able to choose joy is a choice, and you are your own joy. So if there's any way that I can support anyone or be anyone's listening ear, I'm more than happy to be a support or just a listening ear.
Awesome. Beautifully, beautifully said. And man, let me tell you that perspective, those words, and just that infectious energy is a living testimony to all of the things that you've accomplished as well. So not only can she say it, Nimit can also back it up when you look at her career and her advancements and everything that she has going forward into the future as well. So Nimit, thank you for coming on. That was just so beautifully said as well. And like you said, happiness is a choice. And I just want to take one thing that you said and just expand on it just a tiny bit. You said when you go out there and you're able to go out there to accomplish anything that you set out to do, yes, that is such a great gift that people don't really maybe are conscious of, or that we don't make a big enough deal from it, right? And with Valentine's Day being yesterday, and maybe there's somebody that didn't, wrap gifts or unwrap gifts from a significant other, family member, whatever it may be. Just understand you did open up some gifts yesterday. You opened up one eyelid and you opened up the other eyelid, and you opened up your ears and your energy. So just the fact that you had that, you have opened up some great gifts today and yesterday and every day going forward. So Nimit, thank you so much for that. If somebody wanted to reach out to you, where can they go to find you?
They can email me, core.nimit@gmail.com, or they can reach out to my LinkedIn at Nimit Kaur, or my Facebook, which I can provide you to put in the description too.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. We need that, and we're going to share that with everybody as well. And as you see on LinkedIn and on Facebook on the screen, you can reach her at nimitkaur.com or Nimit Kaur for the tag. And we just really appreciate you so much for being on here, sharing an hour of your time, of your beauty, your great energy, and your positive words to give the Positivity Posse just that extra push that they need, because we all know what we need to do in our lives, but sometimes we need that little extra motivation. And Nimit, you actually took that motivation and you flipped it into inspiration, because like I said, even for me, you just lit that fire up even more. And when you have that on the inside, nothing could absolutely stop you in this world. So thank you for coming on again. Reach out to Nimit with anything that you may have. She could possibly be a mentor to you, or if you have an organization that wants to connect with her, please do that as well. And I just want to touch on one more comment. Just as a reiteration for everybody that needs this out there, study skills for the younger generations right here on February 19th at 7 p.m. EST. You can register at www.makemychildsuccessful.com. Thank you to Great Success and Mark Hoberman for sponsoring Weekly Dose of Dano TV. And Nimit, thank you again. Next week, just to let everybody know, the Positivity Posse, we have the CEO of Inyani coming on. And if you want to learn more about that, you're going to have to be on the lookout for the social media posts that we do. And everywhere that we say we're going to post on Weekly Dose of Dano, you can follow us here on doseofdano.com to hear more about that. And it's going to be just as amazing as this was. So, Nimit, what do you have to say to everybody before we sign off today?
Thank you so much. And it was great time to be here with you, and thank you. I'm just very blessed to be here.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. My Positivity Posse, have a great weekend, a safe weekend, and we'll see you next Thursday for another episode of Weekly Dose of Dano TV. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. We'll see you next week.